do it.
Now that the honeymoon phase has passed, we can really start to look at this game for what it really is. This game is fucking ass. This game is so bad, in fact, that a significant amount of players have stopped playing this game within only a couple of months. And not even too long ago, I remember people comparing this game to Black Ops 2, Fortnite, Call of Duty, a lot of those games that were Hall of Fame games that people just love to go back to time and time again and just glaze the fuck out of. So how did we even get here, bro? How did we go from, wow, this game is really good, everyone's getting on this game, everyone's talking about this game, this is the new big thing, to, I fucking hate this game, the community is toxic, the matchmaking is dog shit, content creators are ruining the game, the meta is fucking boring, and just complaint after complaint after complaint. This game's a gooner game. Why would I want to play that game? It's fucking ass. Well, to answer all of those questions on how we even got here to begin with, we'd have to look all the way back and see what Marvel Rivals did right. What did they do that really spoke to the community and made everyone smile and cheer and say that a new era of gaming was coming to fruition? If you're not blind or live under a rock, I'm sure you already know this, but these characters are Marvel characters. So with that comes an already established fan base of people who love Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, Iron Man, Captain America. You know, that brought in a lot of fans from this already established community. So that opened a door for them to have a large community of people who already have, you know, these warm feelings towards characters that were going to be in their future game. And for that reason, it started off with a really big boom of a lot of players, you know, a really solid player base to play their game on release. You know, a lot of people played that beta, and a lot of people played the game when it came out. It already had the hype. It wasn't like a Fortnite type of game that was low-key slept on and gradually had to build its fan base over a set amount of time and got more and more players to the point where now they have collabs with fucking Dragon Ball, Naruto, Pacific Rim, Halo, fucking God of War. You know, they have a collab with everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if next week they have a fucking Labubu collab, you know? And because of that, they could take some time to invest into their already established community by, you know, putting up skins that a lot of people can recognize. Like, when people put out that those leaks of the Thing skin with him in a trench coat, I mean, people went fucking feral. Everyone was going up and down, talking about how they love the developers. Same thing when the Venom twerking emo came out. Everyone was like, no way, guys, this is so great. Let's go, you know, be in support of the Chinese developers at fucking NetEase, even though, you know, they have EOMM in this game and stuff like that. You know, people were kind of just blindly accepting what was given to them, you know, the little crumbs that they were given. And, you know, all those gooners, you know, they got their gooner skins. They got the skins that they can look at, you know, see eye candy and stuff for. You know, they just said that they were the developers of the community and that they listened to their community. And yeah, the game was good for a while. It was. I'm not going to lie to you. I had my fair share of fun. I can't say that I had an absolute, you know, awful time. I think that I had enough time to enjoy myself, to play the game, to know the ins and outs. I got a high enough rank. I mean, I hit Celestial, so I think that I can, you know, say that I played the game enough to where I could reach a high rank. I was working 50 hours a week and still able to hit that rank. And, you know, as someone who has played the game very often, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this game will die. I know that they have a lot planned in the future, and this game is going to be one of those games that always has a fan base, much like Call of Duty, even though their fans should have left that game a long time ago and the game should have died years and years ago because they just, you know, release poor renditions of the old game every single year, much like 2K. Overwatch has that same type of fan base, those diehard fans. And so the player base might, lower down until it stagnates at a very, very low rate where they, stop releasing as many updates. I think that one way that they could easily stop this is by addressing the number one thing that people love to complain about, and that is EOMM.
Viewership is dropping by the day. Yeah, that's because people are quitting the game. They don't give a fuck about rivals anymore because, like, okay, if you read the Steam reviews, what's the number one reason why people give this game a negative review? It's because of fucking EOMM. This shit needs to change. Like, of course people are gonna quit. Like, why the fuck would I play this game if it's not gonna respect my time? I'm just not gonna play, you know? It makes no sense. Like, naturally, I would quit as well, but like, I'm a streamer. So, this shit lucrative for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking play this garbage, bro.
People have always had complaints about the matchmaking in this game since the beginning, but it usually wasn't as rampant as it is now, and I think that that's because the beginning of the honeymoon phase is over. People are genuinely starting to realize that they are allowed to criticize this game instead of being sheep that blindly follow, popular Twitch streamers and stuff like that and their friends and say that the game is just amazing and glaze it. The matchmaking has always been bad. There have been people to be able to climb up ranks with a negative or a 50% win rate. And, that right there is a perfect example of why the matchmaking is so bad. But although the matchmaking may be bad, I think it's time that people just learn to accept the fact that you are not as good as you think you are. People love to have scapegoats and just complain about something. You are not that good. Matchmaking is supposed to put you at a 50% win rate at the rank that you peak at because that's your rank. If you're in the current rank, you should be winning about 50% of your matches. So when people say, oh, I go on huge loss streaks and then I go back to huge win streaks, yeah, you're ass. Like, that's how it's supposed to work. You are supposed to stay in that rank. I promise you, if you were to go and get reset to 6 ranks below and you were to restart, you would climb all the way back up, win those games, and get to the rank that you're at right now where you're completely just getting throwers and people who are EOMM agents. It's not the fact that you deserve to be a higher rank. It's the fact that you're just ass at the game. And people just need to accept that. Like, that's how matchmaking works. And although I will say we do get a lot of throwers in this game and that there are some bad matchmaking aspects of this game, it's not nearly as bad as people think. And I think that it's just become a hot topic because of these streamers, and it's just word of mouth. Everyone is saying it. It's keeping up with the Jones. You think that this game's matchmaking is ass? I didn't have any problems before, but now I do because everyone else loves to bitch, and so I do too. And I think Flats put this in a perfect way.
I actually don't know. And honestly, I don't really care to know. When I'm talking about the EOMM demons, it's because my teammates suck balls. But like, I can hop in another game and my teammate sucks balls. I'll come up with something else to call him. Same thing happened when I used to play Overwatch years ago. There was a whole conspiracy around 50-50 Overwatch. It really taught me a lot because I remember back then buying into it and being like, oh my God, it really is real. It's 50-50, force 50-50. But then after a while, you realize it's just a meme, and that's just how matchmaking is. If you're in the correct rank, you're going to win and lose about the same amount of games because you're in the correct rank. If you go play in bronze, I guarantee you'll get back to whatever rank you're supposed to be in eventually if you play enough games, because that's how matchmaking works.
And you know what? Even if you disagree, I guess we're going to find out a couple of weeks from now, because Guang said that they're going to be releasing some type of video talking about EOMM and whether or not it's in this game. They actually released a tweet saying that it's not, but they are going to be talking about matchmaking. So if I'm wrong, I guess you can come back and tell me that I'm a fucking dumbass and whatever. But until then, I think you guys are just ass.
Hello everyone, Guang here. Great to see you all again so soon.